Hey class, today we're going to be taking a little departure in our tutorials. For this tutorial and the remainder of the tutorials for this class, we are going to use the tutorials to complete our assignments, but we're going to stay within one project throughout the rest of this semester. This does not coincide with the 3 semester projects that have been laid out in the syllabus. I am referring to the project environment within the Revit software. This project will be our base for learning the key Revit skills and developing a project from the ground up. We're going to be focusing on creating a new project and building a floor plan with the wall families. We're also going to learn how to import a CAD document to use as an underlay. So for the remainder of the project, we're going to be recreating the Dunder Mifflin Scranton office. So the first thing we need to do is create a new project. In our Revit opening view, let's select New, Architectural Template from a New Project, and OK. The first thing we're going to do is go over how to import a CAD document so that we can use that as an underlay. We want to make sure that we're in level 1 floor plan, and we're going to set our scale to 1/4 of an inch equals a foot. To import a CAD document, the first thing I want to do is find my 0, point in Revit. Revit does have a 0, point like AutoCAD, but in your opening view it is typically hidden. To find that 0, point, I'm going to navigate down to my graphics bar and select the light bulb. These 2 objects in the center here, the circle and the triangle with crosshairs and a center, are called the project survey point and the project base point. They both equate to where the project is in space, be it elevation or coordinate. Right now, these are both set to 0, 0 in the Revit environment. We are going to select these with our Modify tool, right-click on top of them, select Unhide in View and Category. Then we're going to close out of our Hidden Elements screen. Now we've got our 0, point in Revit, and that will give us a corner or a coordinate to attach our imported CAD document into. To insert this CAD document, we're going to navigate to the taskbar and select the Insert tab. Under the Insert tab, you have a few different options for CAD docs: linking a CAD document and importing a CAD document. There are some fundamental differences between the 2. When you link a CAD document, think of it as an XREF in AutoCAD. It is linked to the document, but it cannot be edited, it cannot be exploded, and it exists solely as a graphic background. When you import a CAD document, that document is now part of your model. It can be exploded, and it also inserts all of its layers and line work into your Revit project environment. For this exercise, we are going to select the Import category. When we select Import CAD, we're going to navigate to wherever you have saved that CAD file. I've saved it on my desktop under Dunder Mifflin Scranton office floor plan. Before I select to import that CAD document, I want to check a few settings first. At the bottom under the colors, I want to select black and white. If I select preserve, it will bring in the colored layers that are associated with AutoCAD. In the Revit environment, that can sometimes be confusing, so I particularly like to choose black and white. I also want to insert all the layers. If you have a document from a consultant and want to pare down the multiple layers that you import, you can do this by selecting Specify. For this exercise, we're going to choose all. In the positioning, I'm going to select origin to origin. This will insert the 0, point of the CAD document to my 0, point in Revit. And then the final check is this current view only box. If I have that box unselected, this CAD document will show up in every view that it is possible to be visible in, including 3D views. For this exercise, I only want to use this document as an underlay to draw my floor plan on top of, so I don't need to see it in a 3D view. So I want that box checked. Now I'm going to say open. Now I'm going to go back, select Dunder Mifflin Scranton Office Floor Plan, and click Open. You can see that the top corner of the northwest wall automatically snapped and was brought into the 0, point of my model. That means this drawing was drawn on the 0, point at that corner. The next step I'm going to do is to hide that project survey point and that project base point. I select it, I hover over and right click, and I hide in view elements. Now I have my project base CAD floor plan that I can trace over easily. The only problem is I've got these elevations that live outside of where my model is going to wind up being. So I want to move those. And that is as simple as selecting all of the elevation tags, hovering over one till I get the move icon, and moving them until they're centered on my CAD floor plan. Drawing on top of a CAD floor plan in Revit is very easy. However, to make things even less confusing, I like to change the color of the floor plan so that I can differentiate between my model elements and the background itself. So my next step is to change the color of this floor plan to red. That efficiency will be illustrated when we start drawing our walls on top of this layer. Hover over the floor plan and right click. Under Override Graphics and View, select By Element. Under the View Specific Element Graphics projection lines, Pattern, Solid, Color, Red, Weight, 1. Now that the background is red, anything that I draw on top of it will be the colors that are inherent in our Revit elements. That way we'll know that if there are any red elements showing, we haven't completed drawing our walls. Let's draw some walls. The first thing we're going to do is draw the exterior perimeter walls. Under the Architecture tab, Wall Architecture, we're going to select Basic Wall, Generic, 8-inch. As we get further down the line on this project, we'll be able to change this wall type as needed. On the Properties browser, with the wall selected, we want to scroll down to our top constraint where it says Unconnected. We want to change that to up to level 2. Our base constraint is set at level 1, which means our top of wall will be set to level 2. We can see here under unconnected height, when that was changed, it went from 20 feet to 10 feet. That tells us that our preloaded level 2 floor plan is set at 10 feet above level 1, meaning that our walls will be 10 feet high. The next thing I want to do is change the location line of my wall. By changing this location line, I will not be drawing from the wall center line, which is selected now. I want to draw from the finish face exterior. I also want to make sure that my chain of walls box is selected. It is. So let's start to draw. Starting in the northwest corner, I'm going to hover over that point and pull a wall on top of my CAD plan till I get to the end point and it snaps. I'm going to click to finish that wall, and I see no red on that line where I drew, so I know I've covered the entire length of the wall. And now I'm going to start going in a planned south direction for this east exterior wall and continue drawing the outside perimeter based on my CAD underlay. If I zoom out, I can see that there is no red wall left on the perimeter of my drawing. That means I've covered all of the CAD drawing footprint that I needed to on that exterior perimeter. The next thing I want to do is start to draw my interior partitions. Under the Architecture tab, Wall, I'm going to drop down and change from Basic Wall Generic 8-inch to a 4 7/8 inch partition. This is a 3 7/8 inch metal stud wall with gypsum board on either side. I'm going to check my location line again and change it from wall center line to wall finish face interior this time. Now I'm ready to draw my interior partitions on top of my CAD floor plan. Now I'm going to continue drawing my wall. When I started to draw my wall, it's on the wrong side of my underlay. To change or flip or mirror on that wall axis that I'm drawing on, I simply hit my space bar and it will mirror itself into the correct position. Since I have wall face interior selected, I might have to continue doing this a few times. Okay, now that we've got all of our walls drawn in, let's zoom out and see how we did. If we take a quick look, we can see that there are some red portions of our CAD underlay still visible. This means we've either traced poorly or that we have our wall type wrong on top of it. Let's zoom in and see what the case is. If we highlight that Revit interior partition, we can see below that through the little bit of transparency that it gives us, we're aligned correctly on the west wall, but the wall underlay seems to be thicker. That means we've got the incorrect wall type on top of that drawing. Let's do a quick measurement with our measure between two references to see what the thickness of that wall is at our underlay. If we select one side and pull to the other, we can see the thickness of that wall is 8 inches. So we know that we can use our 8-inch generic wall at that wall type. Now we can either pull this 8-inch generic wall to that exterior perimeter, or we can select our 4 7/8 inch interior partition, and in our Properties browser dropdown, scroll up to the 8-inch generic model and select it, and it will change that wall type. Let's go back for 1 second and look at another way to change that wall type. In our Modify tab, under Clipboard, we have the Match Type Properties tool. If I select this tool and select the element that I want to match something to, when I select that element and select the other wall type, it will change the other element to the element that you have selected. I can see a bit of red here, which means I didn't extend that wall enough to join. Now I'm going to complete that join and finish that wall. Let's be diligent and check all the wall types to make sure we're putting down the correct wall. We could either pull this wall down to connect with this wall corner and then pull another wall, or we can split that wall at that joint using the Split Element tool and split the wall at that joint. Once we do that, we now have two separate walls. If we select the top portion of that wall and change it to the 8-inch generic, it will change only the top portion, and our bottom 4 7/8 inch interior partition will stay the same. We should have everything buttoned up. If we zoom out and use our Zoom Extents tool, let's pull our elevation tags in close enough so that we don't affect how our sheets print. Now let's hit our Zoom Extents command again. Now that we've got our floor plan set up and drawn, let's change our detail level for floor plan level 1 in the Properties browser from Coarse to Fine. If we zoom in, we can start to see some of the detail level associated with our wall type layers. For this project, we're going to print to an 11 by 17 sheet at a 1/4 inch equals a foot scale. So let's go to File, Print, Print again, and select. In our print window, we want to make sure we've got Adobe PDF selected, and then we're going to go down to the Setup setting. Under paper size, we're going to choose 11 by 17. landscape, zoom, center, click OK. We're going to change the print range to visible portion of the current window, and then we're going to select a preview to make sure that our drawing fits into our sheet size. It does not. This means we might have to change our scale or our paper size. Let's hit close for our print preview window. Let's go back to File, Print, and go back to Setup. For our paper size, we're going to change to Arc D. This is a typical architectural sheet size of 24 inches by 36 inches. Let's hit OK. And let's go preview to make sure that this fits onto our sheet. It does nicely, except that we can see two of our elevation tags are missing. Let's close out one more time. And move that east and west elevation tag in so that we can see it in our print window. One more time, File, Print, Preview. All of our elevation tags are visible, and our entire floor plan is visible as well. Now, instead of hitting close in our preview, we're going to hit Print and OK in our print window. Let's check out the floor plan in 3D. All right, that's it for this tutorial. As we move forward throughout the semester, these assignments will be based upon this project that we're in now. We'll start learning window placement, door placement, floors, ceilings, lighting elements, curtain walls, furniture, and other different family elements that we'll import to create a solid, full model throughout these assignment exercises. I hope all of you are doing well. Email me if you need me. I hope you have a good week. We look forward to seeing your project ones.